Greetings, YouTube. I'm a theist. I've mentioned this in the past. And I even wear a holy symbol, which is a silver ankh. It was actually a gift to me from my ex, uh, and I still wear it to this day. And while I do wear it on the outside of my shirt, that's mostly because if I wear it on the inside of my shirt, it just drives me crazy. It's a autistic sensory thing. Um, and Well, being a theist, having a spiritual belief, even having an evolving spiritual belief, because my spiritual beliefs have evolved over the past 30 years, um, is part of my identity. It is not my entire identity. I try not to wear it on my sleeve. In fact, I will never bring up the topic of faith or religion or spiritual beliefs until someone else does. If they ask me, I'll answer. I'm not going to hide it, but I don't lead with it. I was training somebody one day, and I mean, I'd known this woman 20 minutes, 20 minutes, and she asked me if I was Christian. I'm like, well, this is right out of the gate. I'm like, no. And then I kept right on going with the training. And I work with someone, and I happen to actually have a great deal of respect for this person, though recently I've had to kind of burst their bubble and explain to them just how deep the chaos goes in the manufacturing industry because they weren't aware of it. Um, they came from a background of working in the medical field, which is much more and when it comes to manufacturing things that aren't heart valves, it's much more chaos. But they wear their identity as a theist on on their sleeve, literally, because like almost every single T-shirt the person wears is a Christian T-shirt. It is some kind of slogan or a symbol. Or the other day they were wearing one which was a cross made out of the nails that were supposed to have pinned Christ to the cross kind of thing. It's right out there. You can't. It's like you kind of have to push it out of the way to see them. Um, and I've never understood that because to me, that isn't the sign of a firm belief. That if that is your identity, it makes me question your faith. Now, maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe someone who is exuberantly theistic in every moment of their lives. And I used to work with a guy, I think he might have been Jamaican, and he did nothing but all day long he would sing Christian hymnals and songs. Not loud, but he would never stop doing it all day long. This just kind of like became this patois background noise to my life because he worked near me. Um, but I question why that reinforcement is required because that's what it seems to me to be. It seems to be that it is not just this is my spiritual belief, this is my theistic structure or my faith or whatever you want to do it, my religion, but it's something that need to keep reinforcing constantly. And I don't. Now, I will admit that some of that is my neurodivergence. Like if you tell me, for example, this is what you have to do, you don't have to tell me again. I'll keep doing that until you give me new instructions. Do, 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 do. Oh, you changed it? Okay. Do, do, do. We're going back to the old way? Do, 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 do. Okay. Unless you're putting my life at risk, you're breaking a law, something like that, I'm just going to keep doing it. It doesn't have to make sense to me. I gave up a long time ago trying to figure out what people in management say the things they say and ask us to do the things we do. Most of them make no sense. They have no practical application in the real world because these people don't live in the real world. Um, so I don't need that reinforcement on my spiritual belief. I have it. It's there. I'm happy with it. It brings me solace, but it doesn't redefine who I am. It doesn't prevent me from possessing critical thinking. I do not think that there's any reason that a person cannot have the concepts of mythos and logos inside their mind. I fully accept scientific reality. You show me peer-reviewed data. You show me something that makes sense. The scientific community thinks, hey, that's a really great idea. I'll follow that really great idea. And then 10 years later, they're like, hey, we were wrong. This is the better idea. Okay, let's look at the peer review data. You see something? That does seem to answer a few more questions than the first one did. Cool, we'll go with that one now. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the fact that science is a moving target. I'm okay that my spiritual belief is a moving target. Doesn't bother me. But it seems a lot of people need that structure to be very rigid. And that if it ever deviates from this, that it's wrong or it's flawed or it was never correct. But they also seem to need to keep that reinforcement so that rigid structure doesn't collapse. And that just seems kind of sad to me. Like I'll see an Instagram profile or something, and it leads with like a religious, like a biblical proverb, like something 316. That's the first one that pops into my head, and my apologies. Um, but because it's a role playing game, and so it's and I'm like, okay, why do you need to lead with that? Why do you have to tell me that you are a Christian right out of the gate? That just makes me think that your faith isn't strong. That makes me think that you are trying to convince yourself of something. Maybe because you didn't arrive at that faith on your own. Maybe it was handed to you. I arrived at on my own. So maybe that gives me a different perspective. No one raised me to be a pagan. No one raised me to worship my goddess or my god. I got there all by my onesies. I did read about stuff. I did a lot of research. So I found something I was happy with. It wasn't handed to me. I was not indoctrinated into my faith. I was indoctrinated into Catholicism. And I tossed that shit to the side, and as soon as I figured out what the BS it was, I gave up praying to the Christian God when I was 5 because I asked myself, why am I talking to a ceiling? So yeah, I do not understand why people have to lead with their faith. I do not understand why that has to become their identity rather than just be part of their identity. So what do you think? Do you agree that people that lead with that may actually be questioning their own faith and need that reinforcement? Or are they just exuberant faith believers? They're exuberant mystics, exuberant spiritualists that sing that in their heart every single day. Let's talk about it.